Hello everyone, Satorn here talking about basic resources. I want to give you my number one resource that I tend to prioritize, or that I would as a beginner player. It'll make things easier, especially as you get into the mid and end game. But I'll talk through each resource and what they're used for, what makes sense, and then that way you guys can make a decision for yourself. If you don't agree with it, put it down in the comments below. There's two resources I'm going to take off the list right away.
You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
These are resources that you just really can't get in the environment very well. Or you can't just get them from a system, or not a lot of it, right? So for example, consumer goods would be my first one. This one you got to make. This gets made from minerals, and you can do that usually on your planets using industrial districts, right? These turn minerals into consumer goods, as well as you can have civilian industries or civilian fabricators or the upgrades. Again, that's turning minerals into consumer goods. So again, to me, not a basic resource. It's kind of like an intermediate resource. The second one would be alloys. Alloys is the same thing. You can find them a little bit, usually maybe in your world somewheres. For example, here you can see 1 alloy and 3, but that's not much at all, right? You're going to need hundreds and hundreds of alloys. And the way to be able to do that is, again, you're going to probably be having planets that are set up that are going to create alloy foundries. And then you're going to also, again, have more industrial districts that are going to be creating these goods as well, right? These turns minerals into alloys. So again, these are off the list right away. I don't consider these basic goods. They're important, but not on this list. So the first basic resource I want to talk about is food. And again, this isn't number one, but food is very important, right? So you need it to sustain your pops, that's very important. But to get food is pretty easy, and later on in the game as it goes, food gets cheap, right? So 1 food to 0.82 energy right now that's rather cheap. So you could just really buy it. If you don't want to buy it, you can make dedicated planets, right, just for food. You can have agricultural districts like crazy. Then you can have food processing facilities, and you can get some hydroponics farms. You can also, complement that with all your shipyards. You can make hydroponics bays. So there's definitely ways to get food. And, if you got to buy it, it's not that big of a deal. So it's definitely, to me, the lowest on the list. The number 2 resource is minerals.
If you dig with a shovel or a pick.
They're very important. Just as I explained earlier, they're used in consumer goods and they're used in alloys, so very much needed. As well as when you're building up your planets, you're going to also need minerals to build new districts and to build buildings. So minerals are definitely important. Ways to get a bunch of minerals for sure is building planets just like I have here as a mining world, and trying to get as many mining districts as you can, and then increase that as well. You can also get minerals, again, throughout all the different systems. You can hook them up with your construction ships. So minerals are important, but they're still only number 2. So there's only one basic resource left, and that's energy. I think that's the number one, the most important. If you have enough energy, you can buy anything you need to from the market within the game. Again, it's not going to be efficient, because 1 alloy to 11 energy isn't the best, but as the game goes on, prices do tend to drop, and you can get energy pretty easily from different districts. You can hook them up using your constructor ships. You can also create generator worlds with a bunch of generator districts that's going to create a bunch of energy. Then you can also put in energy nexuses, and if you make it a generator world, your technicians will give you a 25% more output. However, energy is used in a lot of things, right? You can see I'm consuming almost 6,000 energy. The number 1 basic resource is energy. You could buy anything else with it. You just need a whole bunch of it. And minerals would be number 2. And number 3 is food. That's not that hard to get later on in the game, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. I hope this helps you out as a new player, helps you prioritize what you want to hook up and what you want to build and grow into. Tap that like button if you like what you're seeing. Smash that subscribe button. I stream 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every weekday at twitch.tv/Satorn. And as always,
for the Swarm.